You're now tuned in to the Lady Charmaine Live Show, and I'm your host, Lady Charmaine. And as always, I got another great interview for you today. Now, my guest today is known as, how can I call it? As the bitter pastor from Greenleaf, also as the side hustling partner in American Soul. But you're going to see him with a new softer side in Mahaliia. Help me welcome to my show, Mr. Jason Dirden. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's been a long day, like we was talking about. God bless you. Well, first off,
it hasn't worn on you.
Thank you. Well, first I got to ask you, we're coming out of a pandemic, so I'm going to claim that.
Yeah.
What has been keeping you busy? Because we know that when we were all in stay-at-home orders, it was getting to a lot of people. But what were you doing to keep yourself busy?
You know what? If I wasn't on a Zoom call with parents and siblings, I was writing. I was doing a lot of writing. Creators create.
Right.
And the pandemic, the stay-at-home orders, they just gave me more time to really focus on writing as opposed to acting, create my own content. So I've been doing a lot of that, still doing it now.
Right.
I done caught the bug.
So I have a question for you now. I did not know that Brandon was your brother, and I love him in For Life. That's my show. And I was like, oh my God, they're related. Because, when you do your research on people, and so your brother's an actor, and then I saw Papa Willie is an actor as well.
He is. We're an acting family, just a creative, artistic family, all together. Even my oldest brother, James, he's the one that acts but doesn't get paid to do it. We call him the comedian of the family.
Okay.
But we're all artistic. Yeah, my brother is in New Jersey doing a lot of stage work and, like you say, For Life and whatnot. And my father was our first acting coach, actually, when we showed an interest in it. Yeah.
So you got the bug. So you got your brother, like you said, you have your other brother, you have yourself, and you have your father. But you have a beautiful family. I saw your family pictures. Everybody look good. Mama, daddy, your sisters. Y'all got the dimples. So tell me, in the neighborhood, did people hate on y'all? Because I was good with the family.
No. You know what? Well, with my hair. My hair's straight. And so I hated my hair because my brothers have curly hair, obviously black, ethnic hair. And when we would go to the barbershop, or salon, the stylist would use scissors on my hair and use clippers on my brother's hair. And I said, I was like 4 or 5 years old. I said, this is not right. This is not what I want. And I would start crying. She said, what do you want? I said, I want my hair to go light right here and dark right here and darker right here. Jason, your hair won't do that. And so eventually I found a barber that, that could actually cut my hair. And later in life was when everyone started hating on my hair because the girls like the straight hair. They like the hair that they can play in and experiment in. I said, go ahead, do your thing.
All right, Lila. All right now. Now, Jason, it's funny because, when you see you, do people think you're another nationality because you look like all the time? But then when you open up your mouth, you are straight brother. There's no doubt.
I'm straight Houston. I'm straight Texas. But yeah, depends on where I am in the world. If I'm in Texas, people assume I'm Mexican. Or in California, they assume I'm Mexican. If I'm in New York, where I used to live, they assume I'm either Dominican or Puerto Rican. And I would go to the bodega, just trying to get a Coke or whatnot. And they would say something in Spanish. I say, no, I speak English. And they would get upset with me, thinking I had turned my back on the culture because I didn't learn the language.
Right.
Yeah, they really thought.
So no, I'm black all day, brother. Black all day.
All day.
Now, this is what's so funny. See, in my neighborhood where I grew up, when you heard the word skank, it was a derogatory term towards a female or a brother. And then I watch a show, and the brother name is Pastor Skanks. Did you ever have an issue with the name? Did anybody ever change it? Did they know that terminology in the hood for skank?
You know what? I'm gonna let you something. They got me. So when I auditioned for the role, I saw the name was Basie Skanks, Pastor Basie Skanks, and I thought it was a little weird, but I went with it. And the only scene that I had to audition with was when I'm protesting, when I'm fighting for the young man to go to jail and just fighting for justice. And I'm thinking this guy's a stand-up guy, and it just so happens that his name is Basie Skanks. And then later on down the line, I was like, oh, that's why you named him Basie Skanks. Okay.
Your character.
All right, you set me up. You set
Yeah.
me up. Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah, your character was real skanky, I must say.
A little bit,
But you know, but you
it's
know,
all about perspective though.
exactly. But you know what? It was a very good show. We understood why you were the way you were as the show definitely went on, and what
Right.
happened to your dad on the show. So, but in your role in American Soul,
Hmm.
now I got to ask you a question because you play your roles a little too well in American Soul, also in Greenleaf. How much of that is
Hmm.
Jason, and how much of that is acting?
I would say this. A piece of it more than you would probably imagine is Jason.
Okay.
Because I always approach these roles with a great amount of integrity, and really them chasing the ultimate good for them, and that's what I try to do in life.
Okay.
Now the less than legal things, the shady things, the conniving, the manipulation, that's just really from my experience growing up in a black barbershop. These characters, like you take Basic Skanks, he's a pastor, but if you really think about it, you want to be honest, a lot of pastors aren't that far removed from being pimps and hustlers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They
true.
had, and I'm not saying every pastor is a pimp
I
or a hustler.
understand.
What I'm saying is their instincts are similar. They know how to read the room. They know how to hustle the text. They know how to hustle interpretation. They know how to persuade you to follow them, right? And
Right.
so that's kind of how I approached it. I just used those characters that were coming in and out of the barbershop.
So, okay, so we're talking about basic skanks, and then we have your character in American Soul. When is American Soul coming back?
We actually aren't. We aren't coming back. The show was canceled. Yeah, yeah, I'm hurt. I'm hurting too. I'm
What?
hurting too. Yeah, it was canceled. We were really a casualty of the pandemic. When networks can't uh produce new shows, then they can't get new advertising. And so their budget gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And I think we were one of the more expensive shows on BET's network. And so we just got cut by the pandemic budget,
That
unfortunately.
show, when I say, I don't want to just say it was good, because it
Mm.
reminded me of my Soul Train days. And when I'm watching that show, it's such a feel good show. It takes me back when I lived at 1412 Chancellor, Richmond,
Say
California, where we did
it.
not go outside until Soul Train went off. And it
Right.
takes me back to that time when I didn't have no bills to pay. I had no responsibilities.
All you had was chores.
That's it. You got up, you did your chores, you watched Soul Train, then you go out and
Right.
play hair busted, you go out and skate. And it took me back to that time. And so when the show comes on, I look forward to it. That's when I'm like, okay, when is it coming back? Because it just takes
Right.
me to that moment. And you shocked it
Yeah.
right there. I was waiting for a date.
Yeah, yeah, we were
Okay,
all
all right.
shocked too because we really enjoyed it. We really enjoyed that show. It
Mm-hmm.
was more than entertainment.
Right.
The show that we were doing, we were really telling a reflection of America, not just Soul Train, but of America
Right.
in the decade that we were in the '70s, and what Black people had to deal with, and again, of course, what Don Cornelius had to deal with on his
That's
way
it.
to the top. It was a great experience, and I'm sad to see it go too.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get out that mood because I'm disappointed. Okay.
I'm
So
sorry.
so now so now you are in a new movie on Lifetime. It is a Robin Roberts presents Mahalia. And we get a chance to go behind the scenes. I got a chance to actually screen the actual movie.
Oh yeah,
And so now it shows a little softer side, a compassionate
no
side, a
softer.
loving side. So I don't see
Yeah,
Basie. I don't see a character in
good.
American Soul. Look, I see
Hmm.
Jason. Now, how much of that is really you, Jason? How much? Tell me.
You know what? I'm gonna go with 100%. No, no.
Okay.
I like to think so. No,
Mhm.
it's a lot of it is me. Because I looked at the character and I said, well, this guy in this relationship with Mahalia, which I think is the deepest relationship that she had with a male partner.
Right.
Um, for him, it's all about giving to her, just giving to her,
Hmm.
being her support. He has his own thing going on. He's very confident and secure in who he is, and he wants to be sure that Mahalia can have that space and room to be all that she needs to be, because I
Hmm.
think he sees greatness in her from the
Yes.
moment he steps into that recording studio and hears her sing. He sees this greatness and this compassion in her, and in those moments where she's insecure, he's quick to offer words of encouragement, saying, "No, baby, no, no,
Hmm.
go to
Hmm.
Carnegie Hall, show the
Hmm.
world what you can do, do
Hmm.
it."
Hmm.
Um, and that was joy to play. Number one, because I don't think we see that enough in cinema in African American couples from the male's point of view. You know, the males so often they're just taking and manipulative and, you know, aren't being the best teammate.
Right.
But in this particular film, we see, you know, true black love. We true black love, unconditional love, commitment through the ups and downs, through the promises that just can't happen for whatever reason. You know, they stay together. They really stay together.
You know, I also host a hot topic show. So we always talk about men and women relationships. And this, what I saw in this film is very indicative of a lot of women, which she had the first husband, things didn't go well. She had a second husband, but you were right there in the middle. Everything that she needed, you treated her how she needed to be treated, and you were the only one she didn't marry.
Yeah, but you know what? I chalk it up to, you know, just from doing my research, that wasn't necessarily a choice thing, right? You know, you have relationships with people if you have or you haven't. I think sometimes we experience a relationship with somebody that's so deep, like really so deep. You don't need to be with that person 24/7 to still have that connection. You don't even need to always be in the same city to still have that connection. And like I said, he had his own thing going on with the church revivals and living in New Jersey and being all over the country. She had her own thing. I think their connection was so strong. Although they wanted to be married and wanted to have children, it wasn't priority. From a personal standpoint, from a love, intimate standpoint, it wasn't priority because they were already so intimate beyond a paper contract.
True.
You know what I mean? So I think that's what it was. I think that's what it was.
So I think that's what it was.
You know,
because she got somebody else after you. She married that one, so she had some time. You know, so I said, you know, the good ones. Even though, you know, I don't want to tell what happens in the movie, but that would have just been so nice to see that connection. Her connect with somebody that deeply loved her for who she was, not just Mahaliia Jackson. So anyway, going on. Yeah. So going on. Okay. So when the pandemic is over, what do you see yourself doing? Where do you want to go? Do you want a vacation? You want to go to Aruba, the Bahamas? You know, when they just say, you know, when you're free to move about the country, want to get away? Where do you want to go?
I want a vacation all of 2022, like from January to December. I'm gone. Holla. No, I want to work. You know, I want to work. I think I'm sorry. I think tragedies, inconveniences, worldwide inconveniences, spark incredible art.
Right.
You know, because the summer of 2020, especially when you're talking about the pandemic and you talk about George Floyd and just the uprising and just the unrest of it all around the whole world. I think it made us stand still and really focus and look at what this world has become.
Right.
What humanity has become, the good, the bad, and the very, very ugly. And when you do that as an artist, it's terrible and it weighs on you emotionally, but it also inspires you to reflect that in your art, but also create art that can help change it, help get humanity back on track. And that's really what I was inspired to do for the second half of 2020 after I got over the fear and, you know, the frustration I couldn't go out and the depression, you know, just to be honest, depression and not being able to see my family and all that stuff, worrying about my parents and whatnot. After I got over all of that, I said, okay, how can I take this experience and use it in my art to progress humanity forward? Because we're in a terrible place.
Right.
We've been lying to ourselves for a long time, especially in this country. We've been lying to ourselves for a long time. So let's get the truth out there. Let's talk about it and let's work on it. Let's do something. And as an artist, I think that's our responsibility to do that. You know, not just to entertain, but to teach, to spread lessons, to change points of view. Director I work with, he likes to use the phrase to change people's DNA. You know, feel a different way about life before you saw this piece of work. How is it affecting you in that way? And that's what I plan to do. So
before we go, I want to know, you said you've been writing. What have you been writing?
Oh man, screenplays, TV shows that I'm actually in the process of pitching right now. So hopefully pretty soon you'll be seeing some content created created by me and a couple of my friends.
Okay. Now, do you see yourself starring in it or just writing and producing? Be more behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, both?
Definitely writing, possibly directing. It just depends on one project. Yes, I do see myself in. The other, no, it's just a vehicle for other people that I just think needs to be done. But you never know. I may hop in there too. You know,
Okay.
I get jealous when people are having a good time.
Now we're gonna see some Basic Skanks characters. We're gonna see Basic
Right.
Skanks hit the scene again in some in some of your
No,
writings.
Basic Skanks. I'm gonna let Basic Skanks ride off into the sunset. I'm gonna let him go. I'm gonna let him go.
Okay.
We got enough of Basic.
Okay. Okay. You have any other roles in the works?
No, not right now. We're
Okay.
just concentrating on Mahalia, and then, like I say, I mean, it's there's here's the thing about this business. There's definitely things on the table.
Okay.
Options on the table. Now, do I take those? Again, with the pandemic happening, things are up in the air as far as is that project still going to happen? Like I had a project that I was supposed to be doing with a network, and it may be pushed to the back. So until the contract is signed, no,
Yeah.
I'm available.
So we talking, but
That's just how it works.
Right.
Until it's a done deal, I say no. I'm not working on anything right now.
Okay. Well, I want to say thank you so much, Jason, for coming on the show. And I want to remind the audience to make sure that you tune into Mahalia this Saturday on Lifetime, 8, 7 Central. That Danielle Brooks, that girl is good.
Yes, she is. Fantastic.
That girl, I mean, she embodied Mahalia. I don't know how much was her singing Mahalia.
No.
Did they do a studio mix?
She sings every song.
That girl bad.
The production only got the rights to the lyrics, not the tracks. She sings every song. She recorded every song, and when we were filming, she sang them live.
That girl.
I'm gonna tell you what. Saturday night, April 3rd, y'all gonna get ready to go to church, whether you religious or not. You going to church?
I'm gonna tell you something. She sing like she know Jesus. I don't know if she do, but she sing like she do.
She does. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why she sing like that, because you can only get that from Jesus. Now, I wasn't sure how much was acting, or she sing like she know him. So that's why I thought maybe it might have been a little Mahalia like mixed in there because of how she embodied the character. She is amazing. So I want to remind everybody to tune in Saturday. Make sure you watch Mahalia, 8, 7 Central on Lifetime. Also starring Jason Dirden, the softer side, the sweet, sexy side of Jason. And I want to say thank you so much. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Well, thank you so much, Jason. I look forward to having you back on the show.
Thank you. I look forward to coming back. Thank you for having me this evening.
You're welcome.